Good morning, dolls, and welcome to Little Gretchen's workshop. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been pretty focused on things for little babies and infants, but I did need to finish up a few things that I needed to do for the little children, or toddlers, which I call large babies. Now, these are some little chairs that I would consider they would fall into the category of what we used to call chunky chairs. Does anybody remember Little Tykes chunky chairs that you buy for small children? But anyway, that's what these items remind me of. Now, it's a little stool. I guess it could be a stool or a small table. So I'm sanding all the edges to kind of round them off and make them really smooth because I don't want any of the small children getting any scrapes or splinters. And on top of trying to make them look smooth, I wanted them to look a little bit distressed because I wanted them to seem old. Because these items are going to go into the children's playroom in the rooming house. And I would imagine the toys or chairs or furnishings in a rooming house playroom would be a little bit worn. But I am adding a little paint because I really love to see little things with primary colors. Now, I don't know if that was really popular during the Victorian times, but I like it. So I'm painting the top of this little seat or stool this bright red, and I think it looks really cute. And I think the bright red makes it immediately recognizable as furniture for a child. And when I finished with the little stool, I went on to paint the seat of the little chair. And when I had had enough of the red, I swapped it out for a really deep evergreen color and painted the seat to the other little stool. So at this point, I think you can tell that I was having a really good time with that green paint because I added it to the back of the chair. Now, I do want to advise you may have to do more than one coat when you're painting something like this because the wood is porous. And although I had stained it with wood stain, I didn't seal it. So it is absorbing the paint. But after a couple coats, I think it'll be fine. And after I finished with that second coat, I felt like the color was pretty deep and saturated. So I'm going to allow it to dry and then I'll determine whether I need to do a third coat. Now, dolls, this frame of footage was actually filmed prior to me adding a hood to this little basket because I was trying to determine how big the baby would be to be able to be in this basket. So I could see a small baby would fit, but I actually realized that a bigger baby would fit as well. Now, he's one of my large babies. I think he's so cute with his little blue jean pants on, his suspenders. But I really think he looks adorable in a basket like this. So I'm kind of using him as the standard baby. So I know that if he fits, all the other babies will fit too. Now, dolls, this is that same high chair, but I've painted it a color called linen. And now I'm adding a little decal to it. Now, this decal is actually a nail art decoration, and it's usually referred to as a water decal. And it's the same type of decal that I used on the little cribs in an earlier video. And I will leave a link in the description if you haven't seen that video. And as I mentioned, I already had painted it that nice linen color, but now that I'm looking at it really closely, I missed a couple spots. So I reached for the linen colored paint and just touched up what I missed. Now, while that was drying, I reached for the items that I deemed to be toys. Now, here's this lovely little carriage that I received as a gift bundle for the babies. And I really think the pink color is really cute, but I thought I would break it up a little bit by painting the hood of the carriage in this little mint green color. Now, I definitely could have used my Tester's enamel paint to paint this because this item is metal, but I did end up doing 2 coats to make sure I got full coverage. Now, while that was drying, I turned my attention to the 2 tiny little cribs with the teddy bears attached. Now, I really liked the teddy bear that was inside the carriage, but I was wondering if I could remove the teddy bears from the 2 cradles so I could then add mattresses and allow the little girls in the dollhouse to use it for their dolls. So I had to give it a shot. Now, I had to be very careful because I didn't want to break the structure of the cradle while just trying to remove the bear. And after a little tugging, I was able to remove both of the teddy bears from the cribs and prepare to create mattresses. Now you can see in this frame that both of the teddy bears have been safely removed, and I've already fitted foam for both of the beds. Now in this frame, I'm doing a really quick, simple mattress like I've done for all the other beds. And this doesn't have to be particularly comfortable or perfect because it's a toy for the children for the playroom. So after a couple quick folds of the fabric, the little mattresses are complete. Now I just want to show you really quick how to diaper the smallest baby ever. Now this tiny baby is going to be a doll for the children in the playroom, and I'm trying to create a little bitty diaper. And I left it open on the sides. Now this is my tiny baby, and this tiny baby actually came in the little carrier that my precious doll Carolyn gave me a couple weeks ago. And I will leave a link in the description so you can see when I got this lovely little baby and all the other wonderful gifts I received. Now, I'm not going to do a lot with this baby because I think it's really cute just the way it is. But I do want to put a diaper on it, but I don't want to make it like really fancy or perfect or dressy because it's a toy. This doll has been well loved and played with by lots of children. So here I'm just trimming the diaper to make it in proportion to the baby's body. And after I was comfortable with the proportions of the little diaper, I added glue to the sides to close it up. Now, in the case of this doll, I actually glued the diaper to the body of the doll and then added additional glue to overlap the little flap on the side. And after I secured the little diaper to the baby on both sides, I turned my attention to the hair. Now, the baby didn't need to have any hair. It wasn't necessary, or I actually could have painted it, but I thought it would be really fun if I put hair on the baby to make it look as though the children had been combing it every which way and that it was just a mess. So I chopped up some random pieces of the viscose and then I haphazardly added it to the doll's head. I think after it's good and dry, I may add a ribbon. Now, I may eventually add a gown or a top to the doll, but right now I think the hair in the diaper does it well. And I don't know why this is so amusing to me. I guess I think it's funny because when I was a little girl, before I really learned how to care for my dolls, this is how they looked. And after I was done with her layers and her hair, I set her aside to dry. So let's revisit these little teddy bears, which I really like a lot, but the pastel pink and the light blue look too modern for my setting. So I just painted them brown with a little bit of watered down acrylic paint. So in order to finish them off, I wanted to add another bow tie. Their original bow tie was made of paper, but I have some little nail art bows that actually look like velvet, and I think they'll be really cute as bow ties for the teddy bears. So I simply added a little dot of tacky glue and then laid the little nail art bow tie right in place. And even though these little bears are really tiny, look how perfect the proportion is for that little bow on him. Oh wait, I almost forgot to show you. I painted one of the beds that green color and I changed the mattresses to the little square bed to be a little bit different, to give a little variety to the room because again, I don't like things to look matchy-matchy. And besides, in an old rooming house playroom, I don't think any of the beds would match or be coordinated. So I could not end this video without sharing that I had painted this little rocking horse. Now its original color was white, but I thought this navy blue looked good as a makeover color. Now I may possibly do some extra things to it later, but I think for now navy blue looks nice. Now this little fella is having a wonderful time in babyland. He hasn't been born yet or assigned to a family, and I told him we were going to take pictures and he climbed up in the high chair. So I'm going to let him play there a minute, but I'm going to change the angle so you can see the little baby doll laying in the toy crib. I think that's really cute. So I picked him up and put him among the other things that I updated today so you can get a clear picture of everything at once. Now, dolls, if you enjoyed this video today and want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. And always look for me on Mondays after 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And make sure you hit your notification bell so you'll be alerted anytime I upload a video. So, dolls, let me hurry back to my table because I still have quite a few things to do and the babies will be here soon. So until next time, I'm looking forward to seeing you all right here on Little Gretchen's Workshop. Bye-bye now, dolls.